Story select.
Last.
Team last.
What's going on? Why doesn't the cannon fire? What's
Yeah, he's trying to fire the cannon,
happening here?
and all that can do is destroy the world.
That'll make them pay up.
It's my grandfather, Gerald Robotnik.
Hi, grandfather.
What's that vibration?
Hey, wait! Someone is coming.
Hello?
You haven't given up yet?
Oh, it's all over for us.
What do you mean?
I just received a message from my boss. This space colony arc
Animation.
is currently approaching
Yeah, the animation
Earth
seems to somehow
at
get
an
worse.
incredible velocity. It
The amount of the
probably
money for the last
will
chapter.
impact Earth.
Oh yeah, we're crashing into the Earth now.
Okay.
Yeah, look how
What's
fast
that
we're
on
moving.
screen?
So... That is a very good question, Knuckles. What is that?
For every human being on Earth. If my calculations are correct, the space colony arc will impact the Earth in 27 minutes and 53 seconds. All of you will be destroyed, along with your beloved planet Earth.
Appreciate the lack of subtitles all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I plan to give you a taste of my revenge once all the 7 Chaos Emeralds are collected. Once I initiate this program, it cannot be disabled. All of you ungrateful humans who took everything away from me will feel my loss and despair.
So this is
No, I know it did. The
this is from the Blackfield Asylum, right?
No. Ready?
What's going on here?
Is he being executed?
it sounds like it.
The vibration's getting worse.
Professor
Oh yeah, that line starts playing again and then gets cut off for some reason.
minds in the world, and my grandfather.
What? I knew you were behind all this.
Knuckles is
Stop
slow
it
on the
right
uptake
now,
as usual.
Or else.
I'd have done this a long time ago if I had the chance.
I would have blown myself up on a space colony a long time ago if I had the chance.
You're pretty persistent for a hedgehog, aren't you?
I know villains are villains, but like, there's nothing to be gained from just destroying Earth.
Here was more dangerous than you could ever be.
What is this?
This is my grandfather's diary.
How lovely.
Yeah, he said that line, but then, spoilers, he tries to help them stop it. Because that's, you know, the way Sonic is
I don't
nowadays.
quite
Oh,
know
what he does,
happened
yeah.
Or what went wrong. Was it a mistake to create the ultimate life form?
I'm
I
getting
thought
my
it would be
Robotnik
something that would
here.
benefit mankind, but then the military guards landed on the colony that day. They were sent to destroy the research.
It must be such a
project that I
relief to
had
be
been
a voice
working
actor
on.
and be like, oh, I have to
My
sound like
colleagues
I'm
at
reading
the
off the
research
script now.
facility, my granddaughter, Maria. I hope you are all safe.
That's the
The
granddaughter.
colony was completely shut down, probably to keep the prototype from falling into the wrong hands.
Into the wrong hands. The ark was shut down under the premise that there had been an accident. I found Maria's name among those who died when the ark was shut down. She meant everything to me, and I couldn't bear the thought that she died because of my research. I lost everything. I had nothing more to live for. I went insane.
I went
Says
insane.
Was to avenge her.
Nothing says insanity by than very articulately saying and writing down, I am in.
No longer was able to control my thoughts. All I could think about was that I wanted it all to be based on my original projections.
I won't
was
say it.
able to complete my project, Shadow. I designed its mind to be perfect, pure.
Okay.
I was kind of thinking this was relatively like plot free up to this point, and now they're just dumping it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that they quite
It's
did this
to
hard.
fill the world with
I thought this was just going to be a
destruction.
Supersonic fight, and that's it.
So that's why you released Shadow from the base.
The Eclipse cannon is now highly reactive and explosive.
I mean, what they do is a lot more appealing than just, you know, you play as Super Sonic. In the
No,
sense
no, I'm
that,
not saying it's bad. I'm just saying.
yeah. It's like, it's opposed to Adventure 1 where it's just like, oh, let's just go straight to Super Sonic. Like here, it's like, well, you have all these characters.
That should be you.
Just play as all of them.
We have to stop the space colony now.
Can I just play as Sonic and Shadow? That would be nice.
No, Sonic gets a really short segment, and Shadow doesn't get a level.
Shadow gets a boss fight though.
Yeah, he gets something, but he doesn't get a level. Which is like, damn it.
That's it. There is a way to stop the energy. We have to use your emerald. You're the one that told me that the Master
Stop
Emerald
taking my
has
fucking
the
emerald.
power to stop the Chaos Emerald.
It's much smaller now.
I just might be able to stop the Chaos Emerald.
The reaction of the
It can
Chaos
shrink
Emerald
if
is
the plot
moving
needs it
towards
to be
the
shrunk.
core. It may be too late.
There still may be some time left. If we pull together, we might be able to get to the shortcut that leads to the core.
Yeah, so this is the start of Eggman helps them.
Right.
Eggman releases something and he's gonna rule the world with it. Oops, it's just gonna destroy everything. I better walk that back.
I
Oh.
just said that in the last game.
I love that. There was obviously supposed to be a line there, but for some reason it was cut out.
To work.
So we just stayed there going, oh. Alright, we gotta play a Sonic.
Gaping jaw, he's just like, duh.
Just kidding.
Okay. Oh yeah, so a lot of these levels have this like...
Yeah, this level has a lot of time stop switches, which also stops the timer.
People are just running through these damn mech levels without shooting anything.
Yeah, suddenly the enemies are threatening.
Yeah.
Well, not these sections, but you know.
Yeah, these are still here.
Time stop turns off lasers. That makes sense.
You know what, I'll accept it.
I'm assuming, I mean, this is probably a stupid question, but any power-ups you got with Tails before just transfer over here.
Yeah. Once you get them, they're basically permanent from that save file. So like,
Yeah, they're
Okay,
permanent
just wondering.
from the save file.
They're just knowing the step, they might just think like, oh, this is a fresh start, this is
Yeah.
a new chapter.
You could actually tell that by the fact that like the characters
I know
have,
he's hovering, but...
the characters have the power-ups in the cutscenes as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, one downside to the time freeze, like getting rid of the lasers, is sometimes you're like, you don't know where the
Don't
lasers
realize
are.
they're lasers.
Yeah. And then suddenly, whenever time comes back to normal, it's like, oh, ow.
Oops. Ow.
Oh, but
By
this is
the
my
way-
favorite thing about the time freeze. Aye.
Oops.
Drop a griddle on your head.
Oh, that was abrupt.
They put the different playstyles back to back too, which is,
Good, get the shit out of the way.
I mean, fair,
Nope.
yeah. It is, I guess, like it ramps up to the better gameplay styles. I just hate those things. They're annoying.
Oh yeah.
I guess specifically as the Tails and Eggman.
I want to have a look something.
Okay. A very stare off here.
I was just trying to figure out when they're gonna like lower their shields and attack me.
So just check something, right?
Yeah.
So I still kind of refer to Sonic Generation being pretty modern. You know, pretty
Yeah.
pretty recent, relatively. So I just looked up when exactly it was released, and I know there's been Sonic Forces and Lost World since. That was released 9 years ago, so time between this and Sonic 1 is just 1 year off the time difference between now and Generations, which just kind of seems crazy to me.
Yeah, wow.
Again, anything that's a PS3 or later era is modern.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how like time's relative like that. But we had like the entire like Sonic's like series from 1 to this. And take in mind there was a huge gap there. In the same time we weren't, you know, we've had like what, 3 Sonic games in the last decade?
No, we actually had a lot. It's just, you know, most of them we ignored because fuck them.
Yeah.
True, but I guess it's just Generations, Forces, and Mania.
Also, they had to go home.
Give a shit about Sonic nowadays, let's be fair. No, back in the 90s, like, this was like a marketing machine. It's kinda everywhere. Shit was like, had to sell a console.
Great, Eggman. There should be a security door somewhere in this room.
I'm taking directions from a child.
Thanks, game.
Wow.
I think it was because I was touching the rail.
Oh. I thought it just yanked the thing from under you because it's a dick.
I thought that at first, but then I'm like, I might have been the rail. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're backing up this time.
Yeah. And then there's nothing there. And I'm like, well. Oh yeah, here's another thing that I played pretty badly.
I didn't realize like how literally meant these like just back to back. It's like making a transition.
Yeah, it's considered one big stage. It has 5 different missions, but you do play all the sections.
Yeah.
The game should have been like this. Not like with 6 characters, but with 3.
Right, so
And
I didn't realize what I was freezing time for, and I'm just like, what?
That thing in the middle, right?
Nope.
Huh.
the thing about this is you're not treasure hunting anymore, so they're more tolerable.
Yeah, you're just doing a section, but you can fly. Or glide, rather, and climb.
I don't know why you couldn't make a normal platforming level, you know, with the start and finish, with the gliding gameplay.
You could, it's just that they were all about gimmicks at this point for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, they just weren't confident in just having a Sonic game. It was, you know, you have Tails and Knuckles.
Out here. Whoa, just realized it.
Yeah, that's what I was supposed to be doing. It took me a while.
I keep thinking the glance, like when they're round, like there's chaos.
Throw the switch and drain the liquid.
I hit the switch through the enemy.
Yeah, because you were invincible for getting hit.
I just hit him at the same time, and then I was really, really hoping I wouldn't get killed by the enemy during the cutscene or after. Nope, can't do that. Gotta freeze time first. I think.
And then you're like, wait, no, that's not nearly enough time.
Yeah, about that.
Uh-oh.
I was supposed to like jump on the block. Ah,
Oh no.
yes.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Well,
Why has this got like a tribal motif?
I don't know. It seems like there's this. So I hope you found that air bracelet.
Yeah, this is where you need it. Even though
I forgot about you saying.
I traveled all the way back down to the Roost segment underwater because I thought there was something there. I'm pretty sure there's something underwater because you do need to go down there for stuff, but I couldn't remember what it was, so I couldn't find it. So also the sunglasses upgrade. Rouge has an equivalent to that, and I don't know where that is.
Yeah. Imagine there'd be like spy goggles or something.
Yeah, it's like a scouter or something. But yeah, this is where you need the air breather, even though there's only like 2 water levels in the entire game for Knuckles, and the other level is the one where you find this breather in, and I didn't even really need it.
I keep forgetting how different is like all these characters' designs are because of the shit you accumulate.
Thanks, Samusho.
I'm an idiot.
I couldn't find the thing. It's
Oh,
up there
yeah.
in the corner for whatever fucking reason.
Have you seen that bomb hack on which show? Bomb hack.
What?
You must have seen it. The every time you do something in Sonic 1, Omochao chimes in to tell you.
I haven't seen that. That's great.
No, literally anything you do, like you pick up a ring, it freezes the game, pauses, it goes do 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 do, and says you got a ring, and it's just like every single time you do anything, and each time it happens, it will play it one extra time. So you get a ring, and then you get like, then you destroy an enemy, and it goes do 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 do, and then every time it adds another one on.
Oh
So
my
if you
God.
just like try and play it normally, it's literally like tens of minutes it goes on.
Wow.
I suppose you haven't seen it.
No. That sounds like hell.
I mean, it's a joke, but
I mean, that sounds like something that was made to annoy me.
so you get people like speedrunning it who are like, you have to avoid rings and because you don't want to activate it.
Yeah, so the timing on these segments is pretty damn tight because you swim real damn slow. It's kind of annoying.
I don't really think of Knuckles with water levels. I guess I do now. I just realised that part of the reason this seems so smooth is because of how damn short that load time is.
Oh,
I
yeah.
noticed it for a while.
Oh, right, there's a pit under here.
Even in the GameCube, it was pretty short. So, I mean, like they though I told you they added the load screen tips, which meant the loads were longer to 360 than they were in the GameCube.
Right.
Oh.
You need to play this off an SSD, I'm sure. Oh, it still has the bounce bracelet, which is good. So I've got to say, for the quote final area, it feels like the majority of this game takes place in the Ark.
It does.
Yeah.
The story revolves around it, and there's a lot going in the Ark, especially when you get to the Dark Stage. Like, they at least this feat, like the two Sonic stage and Shadow's last stage and their stories, they feel really different, even though they're both set in space because they both have a different gimmick. And this one feels different because you're playing as everyone.
Yeah.
Kind of want to
They
like
even
break
tried
it
to
down, you know.
make Tails and Eggman's stage distinct too. It wasn't really enough, but like
Yeah.
Yes!
that may be saying more about their gameplay than anything.
God, that was a level. 11-minute level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But I mean, it's fine because it's like, you know.
No. I'm not complaining. I'm not bitching about it. I'm just saying, like, wow, that's kind of.
yeah,
I never,
you wouldn't
I
expect
never heard
it.
of that.
Yeah.
And for it to just be considered just by the normal.
I hate it when they leave me behind.
Oh, great! Now he plays her.
Yeah, remember Amy's here?
Look, it's Shadow.
Look. Wait.
Wow, they finally cracked the case, solved the mystery.
I really gotta stop whining. Everyone's trying their best to help out, and so must I.
Yeah, so this is why she's in this story. And, like, on the arc.
Shadow, we need you. Please help us.
Fuck off.
It's all going according to plan. There's no reason for me to help them. Besides, there's no way to save anyone.
There has to be. I know that people find.
I don't know what he was posturing for.
I mean, this is the girl who converted Gamma,
Like
so.
the professor said. But they're basically good if they try their best and never give up on their wishes. They always.
So I see the animations reverted to Adventure 1 standards all of a sudden.
Saving them is a good thing.
I think it's just that they have more standing around in these cutscenes.
Give them a chance.
Well, I mean, she's kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, that was what it really did. It wasn't the succubus after all. So, was she to Gerald, you know? Granddaughter.
So, she's Eggman's sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never
Well-
made that connection, but...
Well, no, they could also be like cousins, depending on which.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But they are of the same generation.
Yes. She died though, so.
Oh, we need a final boss, and we haven't really set one up besides the cannon. So,
Well,
What's that? It looks just like the shrine of the Master Emerald.
They probably designed the core like the shrine to harness the power of the Chaos Emeralds.
That's stupid.
not the stupidest thing. In the
Like,
world.
I get you can
I mean,
do
it
the
doesn't have to be made of stone.
Yeah, you can do the shape of it. Okay, sure. Why does it have to be, like, just made of stone?
Yeah, to be honest with you, all the shit that's happened in this series, that's something I'm. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's happening.
Oh no, it's Orange Chaos. No, wait, no, that ain't Chaos.
No, it's Godzilla.
Be the prototype of the ultimate life form that was supposed to be encapsulated?
Leave this one.
Th-
At least
you briefly see an image of this
Shadow,
thing
what are you doing?
when Rose shows him that paper.
Oh, yeah.
How do you go from a dinosaur to a hedgehog?
I don't know.
Yeah, he very much was like, wow, this is a total dead end. Time to go in a different direction.
I made a giant lizard. It's the
bio
ultimate
lizard.
life.
It's the prototype. This is the ultimate life form. And then he looks at us like, no, this isn't the life form. Let's fucking...
So I've never seen this.
I thought this was in Generations.
No, just the 3DS version.
Ah.
Because I say that because I take it you're referring to the soundtrack.
Yeah, I saw the music, so never actually saw the fight.
This
good
in
tiger growl there.
Yeah!
in the quote normal version of Generations of games is represented by Perfect Chaos. And speaking of Perfect Chaos, like Perfect Chaos was kind of built up to, you know? Well, that kind of totally was. This is just kind of out of nowhere, like, oh, we need a final boss.
Like, maybe if you were perceptive, you could have seen, like, the stuff, but probably not.
It just seems a little kind of like, oh.
It's, like, just enough so that it's not, like, you could look back and be like, see, we did do it out of nowhere, but nah.
Yeah, like real
We're not
subtle.
literally out of nowhere, but...
Yeah, I know, that's what I mean. At the same time, I'm kind of used to just random bosses being plumped into video games.
Yeah.
I'm nitpicking. It just feels a bit of a
Yeah,
funny contrast to
it's
Perfect Chaos.
You know, it's Sonic. Like, it's really not supposed to be that deep, but they added all this story, and then yet this still feels kind of just thrown in.
Yeah.
Also, I was
I
having
mean,
a hard time remembering
thematically
to
it
notice
still
this.
works. It's the remnants of Gerald's legacy and his anger and all of his sorrow. I was going for a quote there. I'm not sure I made it, but hey.
I love it's this attack though. Just, get back here!
Just like Ghost again.
Yeah. So this is one of the more
It kind of makes
memorable
like
boss fights.
almost like a gun sound when it does it.
Yeah, it's
I'm just a bit like you not.
Yeah, whenever they're not doing the gun robot fights, they do good boss fights or the
so
fights before.
the homing attack.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have even guessed to home in on those.
Yeah, the homing attack.
No rings, so careful now.
Oh no, use tail whip.
I think if you fall in that river, it's instant death. Like, you get kind of pulled into the pit on the side.
I kind of assumed the out.
I assumed it was damaging. I didn't know if it was instant death or not.
No, it doesn't actually damage you, but it will pull you out, and if you get pulled out, it just kind of does a cutscene death thing.
You fell into the quicksand.
Because you can land in the stuff in the middle. The stuff in the outer ring is actually like an invisible wall, which is kind of weird. Alright, now time for the final phase. It's gonna be a real tricky one. It's you're gonna float, and then there's gonna be these bubbles, and okay. Yeah, it kind of ends in a really weird way.
Get out,
Okay.
you ugly prototype.
You're
That was
ugly,
rude.
and you smell bad.
What a prick. Maybe you should just destroy the emeralds, you know.
Chaos is
Stop all this shit.
Power is enriched by the heart.
We'll just bury it in a field somewhere where no one can find them.
Chaos. Only you can do this. Stop the Chaos Emeralds.
Wait, so
They all just scatter after every game to completely random places. Like, not even just random. It's like suddenly Station Square has one. The government has one.
there was that secret base. They had 3 of them. Also, how did the emeralds get here?
Yes.
What do you mean?
They were in the machine earlier.
I think the thing was implying they were going down the machine. It was like retracting them into the core.
Chaos Emeralds,
I
why is the
suppose.
space colony still on a crash course to Earth?
This didn't work. Oh, of course.
I honestly can't tell if that's an intended effect or if it's just this version fucking up.
Sonic.
Sonic?
That's Knuckles realizing he's been replaced as the main rival.
I guess the thing that's confusing me is, like, if they had a machine that powers a laser with the Chaos Emeralds, why do they need to do this temple thing? Why also this animation?
I'm gonna check.
Yeah.
Dude, you got that cock.
They're just calling each other wankers right now.
Well, that looks silly. Oh right, Shadow has a super form. I'm forgetting. I mean, Shadow doesn't really show up much anymore. Super form even less so.
So here's you know,
The final hazard.
yeah, this is the perfect chaos, but for this game. So you get your theme, and
That is kind of out of nowhere. But I guess how else are you supposed to do
yeah,
a cannon? You need to stop a cannon for the
I
plot.
do love how the lizard merged with the cannon. It's
Yeah,
great.
The cannon up his ass.
yeah, he's good. He's aiming the cannon by having it up his ass. I also want to point out that as a kid, I thought you had to speed up by using so you press like A and B to go to like dash up and down, but I don't think that actually gives you any speed. They just as an attack.
It's a dodge move too.
Yeah, that's how you move
Down, up, and down faster. Yeah.
You also, if you hit it like pretty close to the weak point, you kind of dash to it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This doesn't look very challenging though.
It ramps.
It depends. Eventually, there's a lot of shit thrown at you. So basically, how this works: every time you switch characters, the other character is off getting rings. So the ring count replenishes after every round. But of course, which means there's also no rings to pick up yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna get over the culmination of this story is fighting a giant lizard that really wasn't set up much, and it's gonna rot up its ass, and that's the final boss of the
You know, I'm
That
used
looks
to it,
so
but
silly.
yeah, you're right.
It's really silly.
Real quick, I want to point out that if you're running out of rings, the characters say stuff about switching, and it almost seems to imply that you can manually switch characters, but you can't. If you run out of rings, then you're screwed. So
You burn up in space. You fall down.
this is more like Doomsday Zone in that way, where you're back out in
It is,
space.
yeah. I was thinking that.
So yeah, now you just got like stuff hitting you just constantly. Like the lasers just go everywhere, and these things.
The more projectiles there are, the more likely you're going to get hit by one of them. They're exponential, you know.
These orb things are just kind of random.
Yeah, I guess.
So yeah, this last form is pretty.
Fair enough. Oh, okay.
I got the lock on, and then he dashed towards it, and it didn't hit because it teleported it at the last second. Because fuck you.
I love the tiger roar.
Yeah.
You'd roll like that too if you had a robot mod up your ass.
I must destroy all the evil the Professor has created.
I must destroy all the evil that the professor has created.
I love
I
the
don't
gravity
think-
physics, or the physics on the spines or whatever.
No way that's getting through.
In
I was just
space.
gonna say, I don't think the professor's ever mentioned again in the series.
Nope.
I think his little quest there never went anywhere.
Chance to be happy.
So this is fucking great. They're like, alright, we're gonna do the, dash at it and hit it with all of our power. And hit it with the big...
Spirit bomb. What? Hang on, wasn't everyone on that?
Maria, this is what
I
you
think we
wanted,
teleported
right?
it or something.
This is my promise I made to you.
And now Shadow is gone. For
We'll never see him again.
some
His
reason?
character arc. See, he has a very complete character arc in this story, and not a way to make it do new things. But they brought him back anyway. He's a character who his story is over, and so when they bring him back, it becomes increasingly ludicrous and stupid and stuff because they have to justify.
Like,
his
people
existence.
liked him, so we have to bring him back, even though we already closed the lid on that. But also,
I mean,
like,
I think
why did Sonic get away from that just fine, but Shadow died?
Fuck Shadow.
Like, why was that entirely different results for the two of them? They were doing the same thing.
Do you really think
Fuck Shadow.
that the professor created him, Shadow, to carry out the revenge on all those who live here on Earth?
He was what he was. A brave and heroic hedgehog. gave his life to save this planet. Shadow the
I remember after I had finished, like while I was recording this, I was listening to this,
You're right.
and I think I just had my head in my hands the entire way through.
I looked up to my grandfather because of all the great things he
People
accomplished.
praise the shit out of this.
Like, look, it's Robotnik and Tails having a conversation.
Scientist like him.
That's stupid.
What did they say?
Did he really mean to destroy us?
Something about
I
him
don't know,
kind of
but what I do know is we all did it together.
kind of reminiscing about
And you
him
tried
looking up to his grandfather as a kid, you know. And his
So what's
Maybe
next
the-
for you,
that's what
Rouge?
he was saying.
Off again to find those jewels you love so much?
Nah, I think I'm gonna give up this line of work. Too much work for too little pay. Anyway, I've got something better than jewels that I'm thinking about right now. It'll all work out. You'll see.
What
If
is she
you say
talking
so.
about?
creative.
I mean, I can give you some stupid childish answers and go,
What's the matter?
I'm thinking about
Sonic?
making my outfit way worse.
Oh, it's nothing.
Cute.
Come on, let's go home. To the planet as cool and blue as me.
Shut
Oh,
up.
so Sonic can't have a conversation with his rival because he's fucking deed.
Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh man, they really fucked up the translation. Yosh. Yukaze. Shadow.
It's just way too fucking corny. It's like
I
way
can see
too
why this like,
self-serious.
has a cult popularity because it is like really hot.
Yeah.
I don't doubt for the same way it has a cult following, but
I think it's just a lot of people played it at like the right age, you know?
yeah, I can't.
Like I don't doubt for a second that the reason that I enjoyed this game a lot is because I was at the age for it. But it's like
But when
playing-
I tried to play it, I was just like,
Yeah.
what?
And it's like I can play it now because I still have like I can kind of remember how it works, but it's not like great. Like the Sonic segments almost work, but everything else.
It's sort of thing how totally different City Escape is from everything else that follows.
Yeah. And
It's
Cityscape
simple.
is apparently like, you know, the thing that everyone really likes from this game.
Yeah, it doesn't really represent much of it. It's kind of a almost like a contrivance. It doesn't really have much to do with the plot. Well, even the Sonic looks like Shadow thing, like you said, has nothing to do with the plot. It's
Yeah.
not like he's framed or something. It's just
Yeah, that's just an excuse to have him run away from gun agents in the first few levels, and for them to be on that prison.
yeah,
It like that by the second half of the game, everyone forgets about it.
right, yeah. And then Shadow's like dead as shit there.
Yeah,
I didn't,
yeah,
realize- I didn't even know he was supposed to be killed off. I mean, I kind of did because I think they reference it in Heroes a bit, but that also relies on my memories of Heroes.
There's a reason I want to do the dark story for Heroes, because all the other plots are just kind of there. Like they're not trying for a plot or anything, you know. It's just there, and that's fine. But like, Dark Story isn't trying for a plot either, but it is trying to explain why Shadow is no longer dead.
Here's a shot.
And
In
while it doesn't
Memoriam.
get in too in depth there, that stuff becomes the basis on what they build on for
Yeah.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Was that achievement called Beyond Good and Evil?
Yes.
Yes.
Did they have to pay Ubisoft to name that achievement?
Well, I'm pretty sure that's a niche quote, I think.
Nah, kidding.
Oh, I don't remember if this
PlayStation
was a
buttons.
version or not. This particular.
Press the circle button to crouch. If you want to, you can buy this game again.
So this is a thing that I didn't know existed. And
Oh.
when I was messing around after I finished the game, I found it, and I went, I'm going to record this, and if I think it's worth including in this video, I will. And
Oh, good. I want to hear a fucking explanation for this.
what they decide to
just-
talk about, I'll just shut up.
Sonic Adventure 2 is really a much more streamlined game than Adventure 1. You've got Sonic and Shadow with their high-speed action, Tails
Yep.
and Eggman with their lock-on shooter stages, and
Bad, yeah.
lastly, Knuckles and Rouge with their treasure hunting.
Too bad.
I especially like the latter half of the game where the hero side and dark side converge, and the characters team up for that final stage. It's
This is
an
the
action
third
game,
different font.
but I think that especially in that latter
I just
half,
realized this is the exact
there's a
same
really
thing they did
dramatic
for
story.
House of the Dead
Back in
4.
Adventure
Yeah, it's the
1,
same music,
there
I'm pretty
were
sure.
all sorts of things I wished
I think
I
I heard that
could have
music
done,
before.
and when we
That's
made
what I was doing. I was like,
Adventure 2,
where have I heard that? And it's like,
finally
oh,
we were able
right.
to put them in
And
there.
I included that
wanted
in
to add a
a
game
commentary of that
element
game.
fans would
Yeah,
want
it
to
felt
come back and
appropriate.
play again and again. So that's why we implemented the whole Chow system. The Chow are these creatures that evolve as you progress through the game. They undergo changes like they'll grow wings or become a lot faster.
To
And
get you to
so
replay the
initial
game,
base Chow
we made
can't have
Chow.
any special characteristics that make it stand out in any way.
Personally, I'm not all that good when it comes to coming up with things that are cute and cuddly. But one of the female artists on my team came up with
What?
some ideas to fit what we needed. She's presenting the ideas to us. At that point, none of us could really.
I like
tell if they were
the
appealing
topic
or
of
not.
choice is the one thing we didn't look at.
All we said was, "Oh, okay." But once we put it all together, and you could see them moving around on the screen and coming to life, I thought, yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't know if this is something we've ever told anyone, but back when we were working on Sonic Adventure 2, we were living in San Francisco. So we had cars, but sometimes we'd get a little careless, and every so often, we'd get hit with parking tickets.
This is such a
And they were
stupid...
I thought he was going to say we
$10 or so.
snowboarded down the
There
hills.
were these little cars that would go around passing out the parking tickets. And these people were just
Oh.
doing their job. But
I
still,
see where this is going.
every single time we'd get a parking ticket, we'd be thinking, there goes another $30. So, in one of the stages of the game, this little car shows up, and Sonic can attack it and just destroy it.
Not pictured here.
It's like, all right, revenge. We were doing little things like that.
That shows them.
That's what they decided to talk about. They included a meter parking thing in like one of Tails'
Back
stage.
in the Genesis days, there wasn't really a lot of communication going back and forth between the development teams that were in Japan and the marketing teams that were in the US or
Oh,
Europe.
hell yeah.
Sonic as a character has had something about him that's more Western than Japanese.
It
Yeah, I
actually
said
wasn't
that.
very rare for us to find out after the fact that the names of characters or other things had been changed to something completely different. And back on the Genesis, the only change had been that Dr. Eggman had become Dr. Robotnik. With Sonic Adventure, for the first time in the series, we had voiceover and the ability to tell more of a story within the game itself. And
Some
so we
names had
figured,
changed, such
well,
as
let's
Genesis.
take advantage of this opportunity to fix this whole Dr. Robotnik thing.
Just fix
The way
it.
we did it was we essentially told the audience, okay, his name is Dr. Robotnik, and that hasn't changed. But Dr. Eggman is a nickname that the other characters call him.
Dr. Eggman is an engineering genius who develops all sorts of robots with a wide range of functionality. And designing each of those was really fun. In the end, though, his creations always get destroyed by Sonic. You've got the whole boom, 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 boom. And after his device falls apart,
What?
he's left in that last machine of his, the little egg-shaped craft. In the end, that's the only thing that ever keeps him safe. So he takes all
His egg
these
robo.
ideas,
Deep thoughts.
puts all this money,
It lets him
effort,
sleep at
and
night.
whatnot, into making some new contraption, and Sonic still always just destroys it in the end. And
Deep
so
thoughts
Eggman
about
comes
Sonic,
out in that
guys.
little machine again, like it's a symbol of his persistence. No matter how many times he's defeated, he puts it behind him. He doesn't give up. He just runs off going, curses, and heads off to fight Sonic another day.
And that's what Sonic Adventure 2 is like.
So I've expected one of them going, yes, and I decided to give the Bat character big titties.
Welcome
I'm
to
a weirdo.
Fluff.
They didn't really talk about, I forgot to cut that out, I guess. They didn't really talk about, like, Adventure 2 specifically. It was a lot of very vague stuff about the series at that point.
Yeah, and didn't they do the Eggman thing like in the previous game?
Yeah, so...
More or less.
Yeah, that was just... they just...
I remember the House of the Dead 4 video was equally
equally inane.
They were talking about an actress, like, female character was based on, because like, oh, I like brunettes, I like blondes, and that was like the House of the Dead 4 making off.
There was that part where it's just like, I have no idea what this guy's talking about. I don't know if I could trust my coworkers. Fucking... And then they're like, parking tickets. Man.
We showed them.
This is like the small stuff you get as an aside in an interview to add flavor, but it's entirely made up of it.
Yep.
It's like if you had a pizza that was just like shredded cheese on top.